Nate, go ahead.
Matt, what do you know so far about the extent with Daniel?
Yeah, they just said it was a lower leg injury, and then they'll get, MRI or x-rays or whatever they do tomorrow. So we should know something by the end of the day tomorrow or the following day.
Go ahead, Richard.
What do you think the way Caleb first stepped up tonight? Seemed like he had a good game.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. We had a lot of opportunities at the rim, and we blew some of them, and other times, we just the way they were defending. If we could get them to switch little on big, like you just had a post up down there with some size, but it was good to see it. We're trying to get things figured out. They obviously play differently with their matchup zone and how they go in. So like you got to get some guys out there that can make good decisions and make reads. At times just be simple and move the basketball. Then other times you got to beat people off the bounce. But I thought they did a good job of finding him. And he made some nice plays around the rim.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. Good to you.
Just what Wilbur did for you also
Right.
without Jacobson, and to get 27 minutes, and what can this kind of mean for him as you work your way through the center position there?
Yeah, he, just for his sanity, just making that free throw, right? Just so you can. It's really hard. I tried to tell him the last game. I thought you did good things. You just didn't have a lot to show for it. You got to reward yourself by making your free throws. And I also told him that nobody's trying to miss a free throw. When you do what you're supposed to, you give a great effort, and then you fail. Hey man, just keep plugging. And I thought he got some elite rebounds, above the rim where he went high and was able to get it. And I think that's you got to be consistent in your post D, and your ball screen D, and your rebounding. And you got to play without turning it over. I know that sounds like kind of old school, but the game's old school. Just be fundamentally sound, and then just finish around the rim. When you're 7'2", 260, just use your body and finish around the rim. And so it was good to see him play well, and Caleb play well. And all O'Reilly's was conditioning. Obviously, when it's on E, it doesn't stand for elephant. So his tank was empty, and he proved it. And so we had that with some guys. Isaac Haas was that way. He kind of gets the 3 minutes of playing, and he didn't have any more oil in his engine. So this was one of those things where you're learning too, right? He gets thrown into a situation. I thought he did some good things for us, but he misses those layups bad, and he misses those free throws, and it's all conditioning. So we got to ramp some things up for him, but we also got to know how far he can go in a game where he needs to get a sub.
Like you say, E, like you pick elephant for E.
I don't know. It's something we talked about growing up, like someone run out of gas and they'd be on the side of the road and we just drive by him and yell that E doesn't stand for elephant.
That's
we probably said a few other things, but that was the kind of the crux of the story.
Matt, yesterday you were saying how, aside from Trey, none of your frontline players had really separated themselves and
Right.
kind of all give you different things. But when you're practicing against each other, Will talked about a variety of skill sets that you go against every day. How much can that kind of shape you, where you're seeing different things from Caleb or Raleigh or Daniel or Will every single day?
Yeah, you just want them to go in the game and put good games on top. And some of the things that happen in a game, like you guys just simply don't know, because like if you run a play or you do a defensive assignment and now they don't do what they're supposed to do. So you have to get them to where they know what they're doing and they can do their job every single time. Now when you know the rules and you stick to the rules, now competing is the most important thing. So like then being able to compete, but I think all three of them bring different things for us. We'll see here with Daniel if he's able to play the next game, not able to play it all this year. He's out for a week, like whatever his thing is like the next man's up, and you got to be able to step up and be productive more than anything. Like don't go out there and like say like, man, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that. Like just understand the game plan, understand what you're supposed to do. We drill everything that we do, and then just stick with it and do your job and have fun.
Going back there. Tracy.
Coach, what did you notice about the versatility of scoring from NKU?
Well, more than anything, like I think what was great for us is that like they do a really good job defensively, you know, it wasn't your question, but like their matchup zone is something it's different, right? And anytime you can be unique and, you know, you got a chance to be special if you get good players to run your system and be able to do things. So, you know, we had talked about Dilling and really trying to make him have tough looks. We thought he was their best shooter. He had the best percentage last year. And we were trying to keep the ball out of the paint and do a better job. Where we struggled the most is keeping them off the glass. They did a great job offensive rebounding, and we didn't do a good job of keeping them off the glass and boxing out and going to get the basketball. We also ran in on a lot of tough shots or long shots at the end, and you got to hold when you're on the perimeter. Long shots are going to go long, and then be able to go and get that basketball. But no, they're a good team. You know, they're going to be right there. They're going to be right there at the end and have a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. Like Darren does a good job, and it's a hard level, but you know, he's got some returners, he's got some new guys, and you know, this helped us today. Like, you know, when we played Texas A&M Corpus Christi the other day, that helped us. Like this helped us, and we got a tough challenge, you know, Monday in Yale, and you know, be very, very competitive. They have a great program, but we've done a good job scheduling and bringing in, you know, quality opponents that are giving us challenges. That was a tough game for us. I know we went by 22, but you know, what's the score if we play at their place or we play neutral, right? Like, keep stuff in perspective.
You just kind of touched on it a little bit, but what's the key to getting those long rebounds?
Yeah, well,
Obviously prove that it's not just the big guys who rebound.
right. Well, and you can speak on it in theory, or you can speak on it like in placement on the court. Like if you're at the rim and you're boxing out and someone shoots a 25-footer, like you're not in the best position in the world. And so you got to hit him and create space and get out. But if I'm away from my man and I'm to the basketball and I'm going to go back, I got to go back, even if my man doesn't come, because what you do is you create space there. So, but when you just sit there and run to the rim when someone shoots a 25-footer, like the ball's going to fly over your head. Like you got to be able to pick up the flight of the basketball. So you step to your man, you wait a little bit. If he comes, you box him out, then go get it. If he doesn't, now you've created some time and some space right there to be able to go get the basketball. So a lot of times what happens is in box outs, like contact takes your eyes off the basketball. So if I'm going to get the ball and you don't hit me, I'm just going to keep going, right? But now if I can get a piece of you, you're not going to keep a flight of that basketball, then you get hit, and then you're going to lose, you know, you're going to lose sight of that ball right there, because that's what contact does. So we got to be more physical at times. And then when you break down and you're in a rotation, or you know, you whiff on your guy on your box out, just simply go get the ball. The play's over. Don't keep trying to box out. You have gotten behind the play. Now you got to scrap and go get the ball. But you also want that to be a collective front. Like you want everybody going to get it. You know, Braden is really good at it, even though he didn't get a lot tonight. You know, he's really good at that, of us being able to box out. Then he comes in and cleans it up. And that's ideal for us because we obviously want the ball in his hands when we push it.
Matt, you kind of challenged your team this week to talk a little more, be a little more energetic for each other. How do you feel like they responded after the first game?
They're just okay. Yeah. We got to get people out of their comfort level. We got to do more as a staff. We have too many people that compete like their personality off the court. And like you can be whatever you want off the court. That's who you are. That's how the Lord made you. But you got to be able to, you know, we're past telling them to talk. We're telling them to yell, you know, because they're probably talking then, right? You know, you have your slippage. So like we just got to do a better job. We had 3 or 4 times, and I can just remember on the top of my head, we just mess up ball screen stuff, and I'm like, why aren't you doing this? And then you'll watch it on tape, and then you'll say to yourself, like, why didn't we do what we're supposed to? And then you go to the guy on the ball and say, did he say something to you? Do you hear it? And he's like, I don't hear it. And the guy said, I said it. And you're like, and now you have that debate, right? It's an ongoing debate and competition when the tape can't prove what really happened. So so you just got to do a better job. You got to do a better job of yelling, and you know, it's early, loud, and continuous what we talk about. But they slip a lot of screens, so we don't yell anything on slips. We stay away so we don't change our feet defensively, and we stay there. But there was enough ball screens that got set tonight. When we did our job, we had success. When we didn't, you know, they were able to take advantage of it.
Anything else? Israel, go ahead. Right here.
Have you had any other teams that have had similar challenges communicating and getting out of their comfort zones?
Not quite like this, but yes. I think everybody has that challenge to start the season. in terms of talking. And so, but we'll get it fixed. We'll keep working on it. We'll keep working on it.
Ryan and then Casey.
Is there something uncommon about Bird's ability to go and get the ball with 2 hands in traffic?
But he's done a good job. He's done a really good job of kind of getting it at the peak, and keeping it. But you know, the one thing is you can't keep it there. Like you got to be able to chin it, and that was something that we would always talk with Zach about tucking his elbows in, because you always are taught when you play basketball to chin the basketball to protect yourself. But when you're 7'4", 7'2", and you chin it and then you turn, you're gonna hit somebody right in the noodle. And so, and they'll say like, hey, you can't do that. And you're like, what are you supposed to do? Like when you say, so we'd always tell Zebo to tuck his elbows in this way and go this way, so when he turned, he didn't have his elbow up and, you know, crack somebody right in the head. But, yeah, Will's just gotta protect it then when he gets it. So we gotta do a better job. I like our effort. I don't think we've embraced the physicality of the game. I think we have to communicate better, but I like our effort. We gotta piece it together a little bit better. We're getting our hands on a lot of balls that we're not getting, but we're still around the basketball there. Now we can't dribble loose balls. We get, you know, on the break, and we had a couple sloppy plays there. Just like be fundamentally sound, like just be simple, and be able to move the basketball there. But I like our effort to go after 50 balls and rebounds and long rebounds, but we should be getting a lot more of them. You know, we just gotta collect them.
Last one, Casey.
Matt, obviously Fletch has started every game of his career, always been good at basketball, but has really started off well this season.
Right.
Has there been anything that he's separated in his own game?
You know, not really. You know, obviously he shot the ball well again tonight, and you know, he shot 44% from 3 last year, so it's not any shot, but very intelligent player, very competitive. He's worked really hard. You know, he's not gonna run for the Olympics in track and field, but he has worked really hard on his sprints. He's worked really hard on his body. He's put in time. Like so one thing that you don't understand when you're trying to develop as a player, you just do everything in your power to be a good player. He's done everything in his power to be a good player. And so like, but don't sit around and say like, well, he can't do this or can't do this. You know, try to embrace your players for what they can do. You know, he brings a lot to the table for us, and he's trying like hell to lead, and really help other guys. Sometimes you get a little bit of a wall because guys, you know, they don't like sometimes taking it from other people, but yet you never ignore when intelligent people speak. You know, you always have your ears open and be able to do it. He's very intelligent, like for his experiences or whatever. You know, he'd make a good coach. I don't know if he'd have the patience for it, but he'd make a good coach. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.